We are the poet, the pastor, and the pundit, opining each week on the intersections of faith and politics. We come to you from First Congregational United Church of Christ in DeKalb, Illinois. We hope you enjoy what you hear. Thank you for listening.
I know how to deal with this. I mean, successful in the sense of publicly.
Well, that's the thing, because I can say I have the same thing, but yet I know I've been successful at different times in my life and my career, but it doesn't seem to hold over to build the self-esteem that I think I could do anything.
What would make it help you do that?
The affirmation of others.
I think that makes a huge difference.
I mean, we've been reading your poetry. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. And your group loves it. I mean, the Tuesday group. I mean,
I grew up in a household. My family was not in any way abusive, not in any way. But my mother read a book called, get this, Unconditional Positive Regard. And she thought, so she just said, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice.
Wow.
And we were like, we grew up more and more anxious because of course everything wasn't nice.
Yeah.
And could we have the truth, please? We didn't know to say that, but looking back, and in fact, my older brother and I talked about this, how anxious we were growing up in a generalized sort of way, because we didn't know what was okay and what wasn't okay. And we need to know that.
Yeah. And going with yours, I think in my family, you're just never enough. You haven't found the golden ticket.
Yeah.
Right.
That in her mind, she would say you're enough. So short thing, I had a little piece published in a chicken soup book. It was the crowning achievement of my life.
There you go.
Thus far. I mean, wonderful. My boys were very little. And I was so happy about it. Oh my God. So I go home to New Jersey and I say to my mom, I got something published. And she goes, oh, that's nice. And I said, should I read it to you? She said, no, that's all right. Oh,
that's terrible.
She didn't even want me to read. And she was virtually on her deathbed.
No.
Oh. Yeah. And I thought, I'm never going to be enough. I mean, for me, this is something I thought she would be proud of me.
Yes, finally.
Right?
I saw a Larry David interview yesterday. It was this famous comedian.
Yes.
And his mom, when he was young and started stand-up, said, nobody thinks you're funny. And that was his, and he said his fantasy was that on her deathbed, he was going to go in and tell her. He appeared on Johnny Carson last night. Johnny Carson loved him.
Yeah.
And she would say, Johnny Carson doesn't love you.
I know.
I think we all deal with it. Not all of us, but.
That's a spinning bubble. It's just
absolutely
deep. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, friends, thank you for joining us once again this week. We are the poet, the pastor, and the pundit, opining as we are wont to do on the intersection of faith and politics. And as we introduce ourselves, I'm going to ask our poet, our pundit, and then I'll respond. What was the march like on Saturday for you? Introduce yourself and talk about the march.
I'm Rebecca Parfit. And
our
the march.
Poet.
Yes. And the march was fabulous. Fabulous.
What did you love about it?
I loved how many people were there, how varied we were, how cheerful and excited we were. It was just wonderful.
And was there a sign? Do you remember a sign that really jumped out?
There were so many wonderful signs.
Yeah.
I have one in my car, actually, and I don't know what to do with it. But it was something about Trump. Oh, I can't remember.
But I put mine on the front window of my house now. So you can put it on your door at your
that'll be real popular.
Right?
Yeah. I agree with Becky.
And you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Sharon Nicola, and a former librarian.
And our pundit.
And back in the day when I was a librarian, it was zips closed. You didn't have an opinion, but now I have an opinion, and I'm glad to share it with about 1,200 to 1,500 other people in DeKalb, Illinois, marching and rallying in front of Hopkins Park. And I agree with Becky. It was it wasn't joyful, but it wasn't angry, and it
No.
wasn't, we certainly weren't the Hamas terrorist group you might have heard about. No, not us.
No.
And a very
And do you
accepting.
hate America?
I'm out there because I love America.
Thank you.
Exactly.
And there were many signs that showed that. And mine was a No Kings poster, but I had two American flags. One flag is the one pre-Trump, and it was held upright. And the other one is a flag post-Trump, and I hang it upside down because we are in dire straits in our democracy.
Good.
So, and I think my favorite costume was a big old frog filled with air, and came up to me and said, "Hi, Sharon." And I said, "Hi, I don't know who you are." She goes, "Oh, you know me." I said, "Not in a frog costume." But it was that kind of fun.
Yeah.
And folk songs being sung and choruses singing, and it just not to be missed.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been to one, put on your calendar the next one and be there.
Well, I'm John Dorhauer, the pastor of this church and the pastor of the Poet, Pastor, and Pundit. And I went to the rally in Lombard, Illinois, on the Lincoln Highway.
Okay.
And I mean, the cars didn't stop honking the entire time. One guy drove by on a Harley, and we were just on this side of a stoplight, and he got stopped right in front of us. And he pulls his visor up on his helmet, and he just lit into us. He flew the bird to us. He was screaming.
No.
We would just laugh at him.
Yeah.
And that made him even madder. He
Yeah.
revved up his engine and laughed again. My favorite sign was the one that said, "Hey, Donald, you finally have a bigger crowd than Barack."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, there were a lot of signs like that.
There were, yeah.
And then going home that night, I spent a couple of hours watching video of the marches and the rallies around the country.
Wonderful.
Last tally, I saw over 8 million people showed up.
Really? Yeah.
And watching those swarms of crowds in cities like Boston and Chicago and Times Square in New York and Washington, D.C. and San Diego and Denver. And
it's really huge.
Big cities and small cities like ours, people are really coming out. And the thing that heartens me and saddens me almost at the same time is that these protests against our president are worldwide.
Yes. Yes.
Others are helping us to maintain our democracy.
Yes.
the president showed up in Scotland yesterday.
Really?
And they're
He's visiting both of his golf courses, which, you want your president to do, go visit the golf courses,
because you've divested yourself from any
And
income.
he's opening a third. So,
Yes.
and as he arrived, one of the Scotland newspapers had a front page photo of him, and it says U.S. sends criminal to Scotland. They wouldn't identify him as the president. Criminal, and underneath it said 34 felony convictions.
Yeah.
So the world is responding.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
As well they should be.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's heartening.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's like the butterfly in Brazil that flaps its wings. The consequence,
Exactly.
when the U.S. flaps its wings, people feel it all over the globe.
Yes,
And what
they
they're
do.
feeling right now is not good.
Yeah.
So I've got a list of, 5 or 6 things that happened this week alone that are worthy of comment. I wonder if I'll read the list and see if there's any one of these you really want to respond
Can I
to.
interrupt for a second? This is our pastor. This is his idea. He doesn't tell us what the subject's going to be until we get here. So we have no idea what he's going to spring on us. Okay, go ahead.
Spring.
Well, you probably have some idea. These things. So the Marines are celebrating their 250th anniversary. And if you go to their website, they have a list of events that are scheduled that you can attend. And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
There was an unscheduled event
Yes.
this week in LA when J.D. Vance, the vice president, showed up and just put together an impromptu event, which included the shooting of missiles over Highway 5 in California.
Right, outside of San Diego.
Outside of San Diego. And when the governor shut the highway down, not wanting motorists to have to encounter missiles being shot over their heads, J.D. Vance made a big deal of it and said he's making something out of nothing, only to discover that later in the day, a bunch of shrapnel hit the California Highway Patrol cars that were there to sort of,
protect him.
right, to protect JD
Yeah.
Vance.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we can talk about. George Santos has been pardoned.
Yes.
We can
Really?
talk about, oh my gosh,
George Santos, not Soros.
George
Right.
Santos,
Santos, yes.
the guy that lied his way into Congress
Yeah.
and then got booted out because of it and pled to felony convictions and sentenced to 3 to 5 years in jail.
Mhm. How long did he actually serve before the president pardoned him?
8 months, I
Yeah,
think.
8 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
2 more ships shot in the Caribbean,
Mhm.
and now over 10% of our naval forces are in the Caribbean.
Mhm.
That many.
B-52 bombers have flown into airspace over Venezuela. Um, in response to the No Kings rally, Donald Trump posted a video, an AI fake video of him wearing a crown and flying a bomber jet and dropping brown liquid
Which
on
looked
the
a whole
marchers.
like diarrhea.
Yes.
Gee,
Uh-huh.
really?
Mhm. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Mhm.
And the last thing we can talk about, you can take your pick of any of these. Donald Trump is suing the U.S. government for $230 million
Really?
for the raid of his home in Florida, for which the U.S. government had a warrant, with which they found boxes and boxes and boxes of highly classified material that should not have been there and were not only improperly, but illegally kept and
Right.
stored.
Hey.
So he's suing the government for $230 million. First of all,
I know,
right?
It's like, I know.
One of the things he's suing them for is not just the raid of his home, but the investigation into Russian interference, which was not an investigation that targeted Donald Trump. It targeted the 2020 election. And not only did they discover Russian interference, Paul Manafort pled guilty and went to jail for. And so he's suing the government for harassing him through that. Here's the interesting thing. Any lawsuit paid out by the U.S. Department of Justice that's over $400 million has to be approved by the Deputy Attorney General. The Deputy Attorney General is Todd Blanche, who was Donald Trump's defense attorney in the case of the Florida.
It boggles the mind.
Do you think there's any chance that Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, is going to approve a $230 million payout to the President of the United States?
I wonder.
And I remember clearly when our little KK, Carolyn Levitt, you know, the blonde with the cross,
Oh, yeah.
said that it was despicable of us U.S. citizens to even think that Donald Trump would want to enrich himself. I know my heart is pounding too.
Yes.
You know, on the American public.
But he's going to give every dollar of that to charity.
Oh, yeah.
And we know how charitable he is because his charity for children with cancer was shut down because of impropriety.
No
Fraud.
kidding.
He defrauded the donors and kept the money for himself and his family.
Fraud.
So,
Yeah.
So we believe him, wink,
Yeah.
wink, when he says that all of that money will be given to a charity.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
He also
charity.
He also points out that even if the Deputy Attorney General approves it, he also has to okay it.
Right.
So
Yeah. Leaves us speechless, doesn't it? We're on air and we're speechless. We have nothing to say. It's just beyond words.
Yeah, that's it.
I think of all of the things on this list, and they're all really bad, that video of him putting on the crown.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's just, he's playing the left. He's trying to slam the left. But then,
Oh, of course.
I mean, when I think about the presidency, words like decorum come to mind, and tact
absolutely.
and diplomacy,
Diplomacy.
and the craft of rhetoric that at least, whether they act this way or achieve this goal, calls for unity and recognizes that you're everybody's president.
Exactly.
This blatant shot across the bow to
yeah.
liberals and Democrats by figuratively dumping loads of shit on them while they're marching.
Right.
For that to come from the president of the
President,
United
right.
States while serving in office,
Yeah.
It's unthinkable.
I don't get it.
I
Did
know.
you ever in your life imagine?
It's like we've stepped into a bad dream.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay, so it's AI generated. I don't understand all of AI. I don't know if a lot of people do, but at any rate, besides the fact that he did not cover his nose in this AI thing, he left his nose exposed and
Oh, he had a mask on while he was flying the plane, right?
yeah, mouth breather for one thing. But
I bet he eats ketchup on his hot dogs.
so,
sure.
he singled out
Yes.
one young man. He's in his 20s. He's a very young man,
Harry Simmons, is it? Sisson, Harry Sisson,
and
23 years old.
yeah, and
Really?
he's sharp. He is sharp as a tack, But he singled him out in this AI. And my question is, I saw it, and yes, I was horrified as everybody else was, who had a brain and a heart. But he did not come up with that on his own.
No.
He may have had an inspired idea. Hey, put me in a jet wearing a crown. He may have had that idea.
I'd be
He
surprised.
has a team of people with the skill and technical ability
Right,
to put something together like that, and he approved it.
right. And
So it's not just him. As much as I despise him, I don't think he has the intellectual mettle to come up with something like that.
Right.
So think of all those people.
He surely doesn't have the intellectual metal or moral compass once seeing that to say, I'm the president. I really shouldn't be doing
This
this.
this is a bridge too far for
Right.
me.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I have the
Unbelievable.
tiniest modicum of a moral compass somewhere in myself to
Absolutely.
call on. Nope.
No.
Not there.
No.
Not there.
Yikes.
Yeah. You have a very erudite congregation here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yikes.
And erudite, so come on.
Yeah.
Three syllables.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are in the country and how you
Yeah.
pronounce it.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm really concerned about is Venezuela, and this is the
Yes.
third time we brought it up, and each time we've worried about,
Mhm.
is this leading to war?
Mhm.
How can it not?
How can it not? Is right. When you're flying B-52 bombers into Venezuelan airspace,
Mhm.
and now 10% of your naval forces are deployed,
Mhm.
and while that's going on, you shoot down two more ships.
Mhm.
By the way, one of those ships wasn't Venezuelan; it was Colombian.
Really?
And a Colombian fisherman was killed on that. And the president of the Colombian government has declared that an act of murder on the part of our president.
Yep.
And that's also language that marches you closer and closer and closer to war being declared.
Right.
Absolutely.
And he has to know, and his staff has to know, that these actions are going to be interpreted by other countries as acts of war. Well, what is he doing?
He wants war. He wants war.
We have entered wars before, but never because of actions that we have initiated. Right. And only when we had to, for the rights of others, in order to maintain some sense. Now, our motives weren't always pure. Right. Don't get me wrong, but this is a president taking action unprovoked that's going to lead to war.
Yes.
And U.S. lives will be lost.
Yes. And that's what he wants.
I don't know the law well enough to know whether Congress needed to do anything to prevent him from sending, bombers over foreign countries. But isn't there international law that will rise up and hopefully prosecute our president, since we, the people, seem unwilling to do that?
That yes and no. Benjamin Netanyahu has been identified by those international courts as a war criminal.
Right.
Yes.
He will be arrested when he lands on the soil of any country willing to adhere to the principles of international law.
Mhm.
So he can come to the U.S. without impunity. I mean, nothing's going to happen when he lands on U.S. soil. But go to France, go to Germany, go to Spain. He will be arrested in a heartbeat. So the answer is yes. The international courts could declare these acts as war crimes,
Yes.
but so what?
Yeah.
Just Donald Trump doesn't go anywhere where he would be detained for that.
Scotland?
Well,
Could we
Falling
send
on
them?
Scotland.
they'll do it. They'll do it in a
Yes,
heartbeat.
they will.
So much for his golf course.
Oh, darn.
But at this point, nobody has taken that action. But
Yeah, but
It seems that they should,
yes,
in my book.
absolutely.
yeah, they should. It's always a question. I mean, we're talking about one of the two, maybe three superpowers.
Mhm.
Who does that to a superpower is the question.
Yeah.
And what do you risk by doing it? And who's willing to take that risk for their country and their people? So,
Well, given the fact that we're likely to go broke in the next couple of years as a
There is
country,
that.
so how super can our powers be that they're not vulnerable?
yeah, that's a good question. It's our finances. I mean, the banks and the loans we hold over countries and our military that protects that position that we have in the world.
Right.
How vulnerable any of those are or will be in a few years, I don't know. What we can definitely say right now is strong alliances that we have counted on and relied on are being eroded, if not
Yes.
dissolved,
Yes.
in the midst of all of this.
Yes.
And honestly, and I speak as Antifa when I say this.
Now be
Good for
careful because
them.
there will come a time when saying that
You.
will mean
Yeah, I say that knowing that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yes, I am Antifa. Why? Because my father came as an immigrant from Germany ahead of the Nazi takeover of Germany. I had an uncle who lied and got in the Navy at 16 because he felt so strongly about protecting us. I had another uncle who served in Germany in the U.S. Army. I have a husband who served in Vietnam in the U.S. Army. I have a son who served in Afghanistan to the U.S. Army.
Wow.
I am Antifa. We all have been anti-fascist.
right.
And I
Yes.
continue to be, though I wasn't allowed to serve. So there you
Right.
go. Come and get me.
Said with pride.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Absolutely.
As we used to say in the 60s. Right on.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know enough about this to hold any kind of a discussion, but I do know that the government has contracts with tech companies
Mhm.
that can, maybe infiltrate is the wrong word, but access our phones and our conversations
Really?
on those. They've never been authorized legally to do that, but I understand legislation is being considered that would give the Department of Homeland Security the right to utilize that technology. Again, I don't know enough to comment on it yet, but
That's scary.
if you combine that with what was said last week going into the march about Antifa and
Yeah.
Hamas terrorists,
Right.
we're just two steps away from what
Yes.
you just said about being Antifa ending up putting you in jail.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
Yeah. So you can see the steps. You can see where it's leading.
They've been outlined for years.
Yes.
They're indicators that are so blatant
Hmm.
that to agree with them is to encourage Trump to continue to
Yes.
be the dictator that he wants to be.
Right. It's all lined up.
The Holocaust survivors have said for years,
Yes.
this isn't the warning. We're in it.
Hmm.
And there's so few of them left alive.
Right.
We ignore them at our peril.
Absolutely.
Uh, we can talk about, and I do want to say a word about not only George Santos, but I'm sure you all didn't miss the irony of all of those talking heads last week calling us terrorists,
Yeah.
America haters, Antifa supporters. So while 8 million people peacefully marched across this country with very few disturbances
Yes.
and even fewer arrests, the same people doing that pardoned George Santos and the 11 to 1200 insurrectionists who either pled guilty or were convicted of their crimes against America on January 6th.
Correct.
Wow.
The hypocrisy of that is overwhelming.
Yes.
It is.
It's so blatant.
There's no subtlety to it whatsoever.
No,
It's like he
Not
knows he
hiding
can get
anything.
away with everything, or he believes that. Let's say.
I remember when he was running, didn't he say he was so, impervious that he could shoot somebody dead in front
Yeah,
of
that was-
Trump?
2016.
On-
He could shoot
in the-
somebody on Fifth Avenue and
Yeah,
And
get away with
get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, who would say that?
exactly.
who would say I'm a celebrity, I can grab a woman by
Private parts
and get elected?
and get elected.
Who can talk openly on television about wanting to date their daughter and get elected?
Right.
He's unbelievable.
And I'll say again, and I question this all the time. I understand that he's an odious, subhuman in human form. But he has people around him who know him well and still support him and
Incredibly
promote him
Yep.
and benefit from him
enough. I
to
think that's
we the people detriment. Who are they?
He is the most transactional
Oh,
president and maybe politician this country's ever known. And I think he engenders around him that sort of transactionality, if
yes.
that's a word.
it
And
is.
so I think that the people who attach themselves to him are themselves in this sort of
right.
quid
Yeah.
pro quo mentality,
exactly.
where I'm getting something with him and from him that I crave. J.D. Vance is the perfect example
Yes.
of this.
Right.
He has morphed himself into a being that you would not recognize as the same person he was 10 years ago
Right.
because of what he can get
Right.
Yes.
with Donald Trump, being close to Donald Trump. And so this whole transactional way of doing business in the government is completely different than A, what we're used to, and B, what the Constitution was written to preserve.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And the morphing that you mentioned about J.D. Vance, among other names, at one time recognized Trump as a Hitler type
Yes,
Yes.
person. He in fact called
call
it
him
out.
that.
He
Called
did
it out.
I didn't realize that.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And now Trump's water boy.
Yeah.
I mean, what else to be said? I mean, well,
How could this be happening?
That's a really good question.
now here's another irony. I just thought of this this morning, in prep for whatever you might bring up. Okay.
Is it on my list?
Yeah, okay. Trump himself is a natural born citizen, the son of a Scottish immigrant mother,
Yes.
the grandson of a German immigrant
Mhm.
grandfather,
And the husband twice.
of immigrant women.
Yeah.
This is the person,
Yeah.
this person who has lived under the splendor of our democracy
Right.
is the one who's tearing it down.
Lived
Yeah.
under the splendor of our democracy.
That's wonderful.
Just came out.
Beautiful.
It's good.
You're the poet on the pundit, but it came
Hey.
out. But honestly, you
Yes.
talk about irony and why we're so gobsmacked over it.
Absolutely.
Um,
It's like we stepped into a bad dream.
yeah,
And all the rules don't apply anymore.
right. That's it.
I
The
heard it.
rules don't apply.
Right. I heard a comedian last week talking about his two immigrant wives,
Yeah.
saying that just proves once again that immigrants are here to do the jobs that other Americans don't want to do.
Oh,
That's
good one.
That is right on.
Well, as we wrap up our conversation,
Yeah.
I want you to read. You've written a poem.
Yes,
You've written many poems.
Yes.
And I really like this one. It's about messes, and we're living through a mess.
we
But
are.
would you read that for
Yes,
us?
I would. It's called There is a Force. There is a force within me and without me that blows up a storm, that fights me every moment I am working to create order. As I pile the postcards and note cards I am saving for just the right moment, why shouldn't I pile them, file them, stash them in a coherent way, in just the tight spot, like other people, that something in me and around me topples the pile, scatters the Japanese screens, the gold-edged rivers with peonies blooming, ducks paddling in a delicate branch, gone the postcard of Wrigley Field in the 1930s, hidden those Van Gogh skies. I'll never find my snow leopard kitten or that spread of lilacs perfect for I'm sorry. Shall I fight back or laugh, throw up my hands, accept, and by accepting, charm the angry messmaker spirit and move on to the vacuuming?
Oh, God.
That's cute.
Oh, it's very good. I love it.
You know, sometimes you write a poem because you're just desperate and you don't know how to find the words to talk about the desperation. And for me, that always means I've got to go to poetry
Yeah.
because regular words aren't doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that, you know, I've been doing this since I was 8,
Yeah.
and
Beautiful.
And
that's what-
relatable. I mean, there are many people who could say the same kind of thing, though not as artistically or poetically.
Thank you.
And do you have a last word for us? First, we
Well,
want to see your T-shirt. And it
okay.
looks like you've got a book you're
Yeah.
promoting.
Yes.
Okay.
Rejecting Kings since 1776.
That's fabulous.
There we go. We got my pearls for RBG, and I just got this book yesterday. It came out yesterday
Wow.
along with Virginia G. Frey's tell-all.
Giving up is unforgivable.
And I had pre-ordered it. Those 2 books came out the same yesterday. I got it from Robin's Nest Books on Main Street in DeKalb. She's wonderful.
Yes.
And I had forgotten that I'd ordered it, as I want to do. And what caught me as I was reading it yesterday and today is my talks with the pastor about forgiveness.
Yes.
And I can forgive a lot of shit in my life, but I have not been able to garner the least little bit of forgiveness for Donald Trump.
Right on.
And I felt better reading this. Giving up is unforgivable.
Yes.
Giving up is the unforgivable. And it's called A Manual for Keeping a Democracy.
Wonderful.
So I haven't read it yet, so I can't say I recommend it, but I do recommend Joyce Vance, the author. And that's my final word. Giving up, folks, is unforgivable.
We
Excellent.
will not give up.
We will not give
We will
up.
fight on. And my last word, as always, is we're in this together. We need each other. We will get through this. We won't give up. We are the poet, the pastor, and the pundit, pining on the intersection of faith and politics. Thank you for listening. That was our podcast this week. Be sure to tune in next week for another edition of The Poet, the Pastor, and the Pundit, opining on the intersections of faith and politics. Thank you for listening.